help the rousing applause you got when you showed up for the circle at practice?
Oh, yeah, I was the last guy out there, which is sometimes happens. But for me, I always get doing something and end up being the last guy. So yeah, that's what it was more about, I think.
Does that kind of show the camaraderie you guys have?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we have fun with it. I mean, I saw the coaches go out, and I knew I had a few more minutes, but everyone was out there for a while before I got out there.
Dutch, it's not going to be a long period of time because they're playing tonight, but what is it like sitting in limbo? You guys obviously know you're playing, but you don't know who it's going to be. What's it like when you have to practice and you don't know what's coming up next?
Honestly, we don't care at this point. We know they're both two good teams, and it's a pick your poison situation at this time of year when you get down to the Final Four, and we're just happy to have some rest. I mean, I think we had 11 games in 21 days or something crazy like that. So it was nice to be able to it's nice to have a few days here to just mentally reset and physically, obviously, get some rest. And it's been a wild ride so far. Obviously, that Vegas series was absolutely insane, and Colorado made a hard push at the end there in the last two games to push us, almost to Game 7. So it's nice to get some rest here.
Just for color, how did you get away from the game yesterday? Like, what are you doing?
I can't get away from anything. I got 3 kids at home, so it's. I almost lost my voice from yelling yesterday. They were in fine form, so yeah. There's no getting away from me, but it's hockey mad or dad mad at this point. There's no nice rounds of golf or My wife and I did go to dinner last night for the first time in probably 6 weeks, so that was nice. But it's go right now.
Will you watch the game tonight? Will you be able to? Like, do you have a notepad?
No notepad. No. Coaches do such a good job preparing us. I don't need to do anything like that. I'll probably watch. I think. I mean, I would imagine I'll check it out and see. Obviously, if it's I kind of was flipping back and forth the other night between that and the basketball game, and the basketball game ended up being closer, so I watched that. But we'll see how it goes. I'll probably watch the first bit and see what the score is. If it's tight, I'll probably watch it till the end.
This is uncharted territory for you, making it to the Western Conference Finals. Do you think anything will be
Thanks
different?
for bringing that up. No, yeah, for sure. I'm excited. It's a great opportunity. This is 15 years. You only make it past the second or the first round one time before this year. It's really exciting to be here, and I think at the age I'm at and with the experience, the amount of games and stuff, it's a long time coming, and I definitely don't take 1 second for granted. So, like I said, it's nice to have a few days to sit back and relax a little bit, or try to relax, and get physically and mentally ready for. We're halfway there, so we know what it took to get to this point. And it's going to take at least that much more to get to where we want to get to.
Is there something you've learned playing in the second round or getting ready for the third round? You mentioned there's a lot of first-round games you've played, but is there something different about playoff hockey compared to that first round?
This has been different for me because there's expectations on this team, and not even expectations, but just like we know what we have here and we know what we're capable of, and I've probably let it stress me out more than energize me as a whole to this point. So that's something that going forward, and I think it will be better for me. I think I'm starting to settle in more now, and it's more it's funny. I've obviously played in the playoffs a decent amount before this, but it's never felt this way. So this is a new experience for me, and definitely learning a lot from it.
Afternoon.
Start off, just day off for certain players, injury updates at all?
We had most guys skate. We had a couple different ice sessions. We had an early one and a second one. So just because you didn't see a guy in the main practice didn't mean he didn't skate today. Injury updates. I would call Rupe day to day. Hawk the same. Rupe did skate this morning. Hawk didn't. Everyone else skated at some point today.
And then rest versus rust. I mean, we talk about it all the time, but you have an opportunity to have rest, but then how do you use it?
Yeah, I'm not worried about rust on. I think it's going to end up being 6 days, 6 days maybe. Honestly, with the two series we just went through, I think we could use the time, and I think it's actually probably a perfect amount of time that we can recharge and get some guys healthy and get reset for the next round. I think that was rolling that first round into the second round with the two opponents we had was a really tough month of hockey.
You were coming off 7-gamer last year in the conference final.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think like that hurt you?
Yeah.
And is this a better situation?
Yeah, I think it did. I think it's really difficult, and if you are going to have to go 7 games, I think you want to have to do it earlier in the playoffs than later on the road, as the road, as you go down the playoff trail and road. So, yeah, I mean, I think if you look at the Stanley Cup winners over the years, there is a common denominator there in a lot of those that, a lot of them have finished series off, before the 7-game mark at different points, and I think that's important.
How, I assume you're gonna watch the game tonight.
Yeah.
How will you watch it? Like, will you sit there with a notepad, like noting like time so you can click?
Yeah.
Like how will you watch the game? Will you be with your assistants on your own?
Yeah, no, we're gonna do it on our own. Yeah, I will take some notes if there's some things there. I don't expect, though, a lot of surprises. I mean, we know both those teams. We've been watching, this is an ongoing process. It's not like we're just starting to look at these guys now. This has been going on for a while. So, even when you're coaching in the series you're in, you always got one eye on potentially the next opponent. So we'll have a good book on them, but, I'm glad we're watching instead of playing a game 7 for this round.
Jason Robertson, we've asked you about his defensive game so far in the
Yeah.
playoffs, and the numbers are pretty staggering with shot blocking at least.
Yeah.
Is that something that you asked of him or asked of your forwards, or is he just kind of out there doing
Yeah. We've asked the whole group to do a little bit more with that, but he's really underrated defensively, and he takes a lot of pride in it. And I think I mentioned to somebody this morning, he's underrated for me physically too. He's given out more big hits than he's taken. He's physically engaged in the games. Defensively, I think he's been really good. I like that he creates offense without it being at the expense of our team defense, and that's what you need with your offensive players if you're going to win this time of year.
Can you take us through the development of Thomas last year? I don't know how much you had in it, or if it was, the fact to send him down for the entire season.
Yeah.
It really seemed to have completely changed who he is as a player.
Yeah. Listen, Thomas Harley is a world-class talent. That's why he got drafted where he did. I think the right decisions were made. I believe Thomas Harley would have got to where he's at some point anyway, but I think he got to where he's at as early as he did and is making as big an impression as he is. I think in part because of the decisions that were made with him. We didn't push him in when he wasn't ready. He was sent back with a plan to work on the weaknesses of his game, not the strengths. And he was smart enough to do all those things, handle it the right way, and come in and make an impact.
Where's he at now? I think he's just still 22, right?
Yeah.
He's playing 24 minutes a night or whatever.
Yeah.
Against
Vegas
and
Yeah. He's elite. There's been a lot of nights. He's been one of the 2 or 3 best players on the ice on both teams. A lot of nights. So, I was just talking to somebody the other day. I think this guy, should be on the radar of the Olympic team and the next, I guess, the world. What are they calling it? The World Cup or World? The 4 Nations. I just found out he's actually Canadian. I don't know if you knew that. Huh? Did you know that?
He's mixed.
Yeah.
He was born in the U.S., but his parents are Canadian, so he's
Yeah.
supposed to play.
But he's on the Canadian team. I'm making sure of that.
Hey, Pete, can you share anything about your coaching process on deciding to play Alexander Petrovic? And
Yeah.
I can't get over how good he was in game
Yeah.
six.
Yeah, you know what? I think you know, I think we're at the point in the series where we were looking for, and we've done this with some of our forwards too, looking for some fresh legs, a little bit of pop. You know, Delandria came in the first round, gave us some really good pop. Faxa came in Game 7, gave us some pop, then went back out again. You know, I think we felt like it was time to do that with our defense, and he was the obvious guy. He's been captain of the American League for a long time. He's an NHL veteran with 250 plus games, plus NHL playoff games. He's not a guy that's going to be overwhelmed by the moment. And he's, you know, 6'5", 210 pounds, and I, you know, that's important this time of year. It's important. You know, we can talk all we want about skill and all those kind of things, but, you know, especially the depth of your lineup playing against the depth of the other team's lineup, you know, there's a lot of meat there.
It felt like it was not insignificant that he probably saved 5 minutes or so for each Euro and Tanev, and as you go into double overtime, that probably made a big impact.
Made a big impact in double overtime, but also, you know, made a big impact if we would have had to go to a Game 7, you know, which was a real possibility at different points there. So, you know, I think that there's definite value in that.
How do you seen Logan develop in these playoffs? It's a guy that looks like he plays bigger than he is.
Yeah, he's been super impressive. I mean, I can't tell you, you know, the young guys, the contribution they made, the Harleys, the Johnsons and the Stankovens. You know, it's rare to have one young guy play a big role this time of year. To have three, not just play big roles, but play, you know, front and center roles at this time of year is almost unheard of. So, you know, he's been exceptional. You know, he's tenacious. He's fearless. He wants to be out there, and you know, unlike Robo, he's probably taken a few bigger hits than he's given, and you know, hasn't missed a beat, popped right up and just kept going. So, you know, teams have tried to physically push him out of the game, and he's having nothing to do with that. So he's been real impressive for a young guy.
Now that you're here in the conference final, how crazy is it to look back and think about beating the two most recent Cup champs in the first 2 rounds? And you're kind of only halfway there, but how much momentum do you think that can generate?
Yeah. Well, you know, I think it can generate huge momentum. I do, you know, I wouldn't have chosen that path if I had the choice, and you know, it was actually for the season we had, it's probably you know, not much of a reward, but you know, I'm hopeful we're going to look back and go, you know what, that was the best thing that happened to us. You know, and you know, I've told our group before, sometimes the toughest series are early in the playoffs. You never know. You know, we might have the toughest series on the path ahead. It might be the next one or the final, but you know, sometimes on these trails, you know, you hit your toughest series at an earlier point in the playoffs. It's just how it happens.
How much does that help the confidence of the younger players?
Yeah.
It seems like they did have to test themselves and
the
top level talent, and you guys emerged.
Well, listen, confidence of our whole group, particularly our young players. But I mean, we were, you know, in that Vegas series, you're down 2-0 and on the road, and you know, was Game 3 in overtime? Yeah. I mean, you're an overtime goal away from going down 3-0. So, you know, just great resilience by our group. You know, I think we definitely, obviously, want to start the next series out in front. I think that's the goal. You know, we don't want to be digging ourselves a hole in Game 1, you know, which has been a little bit of our story here over the time I've been here. So that's got to be our focus. Okay, thank you.
What is the feeling right now to get a little bit of time and get yourself ready for a big series?
Yeah, it's been nice, I think, just knowing we were going every other day there for a while, and guys did a tremendous job there, so get an extra day rest. We used it and get back today and keep trying to, you know, build that little bit of rest, but there's a certain level of engagement, you know, in this time period that I've kind of learned. You have to stay engaged, you have to work, you know. Nothing gets easier from here on out.
For Pete to be in this position for his 7th time in his career, what is it about him that's made him so successful in the playoffs, especially getting so deep?
Yeah, you know what? He delivers a good message. I think we've built it all year. You know, we've been talking about it. We've talking about where we want to go, and you know, especially kind of down the stretch, it was we want to create Stanley Cup habits and play meaningful hockey and do it the right way. It's kind of led into it, but definitely, he's pushed some good buttons, I think, and he's laid a great foundation, and then the guys have done a good job answering.
What do you, just looking for color here, what do you do to rest and recover yesterday? Like, I'm imagining Uncle Joe on the grill, and, Wyatt setting the table and Logan cleaning up. Like, is that what happened, or?
Somewhat, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, we got out a little bit and got some sun and went to youth hockey, and, it's pretty normal day, and get back and cook dinner. Those nights, I'm sure at home at times there's, we're there, but we might not be there. There's a certain level of engagement. You're kind of just recovering and doing your thing. And so it's nice to kind of get home and have dinner and hang out and do some of those things.
Like, you've been a part of some long runs. I mean, rest matters, right? Like, if you're going to go the distance and go 4 rounds, like, you need that, right?
Yeah, for sure. It helps, definitely. When you get it, it's needed. You have to use it. And at the same time, I think we showed it last round. You go 7 games, that other team is still engaged. They're not going to lay down. We come right off that 7th game and get one day and go again and go every other day there, and able to do it. So the teams are able to do it. You've seen it for years. There's teams will be ready. So you get your rest, but you understand that engagement that's going to have to happen on game 1.
Is there something special with you and Ryan to be a hockey dad and playing at the highest level at the same time? It just seems really unique and fun that they appreciate what you're doing. The kids appreciate what you're doing.
Yeah, it's fun. It's awesome to have the boys at the age they are right now and experience it. And they've been around a bit. And, that was definitely a big benefit of having them earlier and having them around and experiencing it.
What's it like being a hockey dad?
It's great.
I mean, just watching the play and seeing them develop at this age.
Yeah, it's fun. They're aware of it. There's times at night he's, why didn't you shoot here? Why didn't you shoot there? Daddy, it's probably time to score a goal. Those types of things. Come home, Daddy finally got one. Keeps us honest, keeps us humble, but just a lot of fun. At the end of the day, fun watching them skate. Really enjoy it. Get a lot of pleasure out of that, and kind of see what they might be feeling at times out there and just enjoy it.
Will you watch tonight? Will you watch the game A and B? Will you be engaged, or will you just sort of watch?
Yeah, we'll be aware of it for sure. It'll be on. I don't even know when it starts. 7 o'clock here or later? Or 8 o'clock. So we'll definitely see the start of it and go from there and just kind of see how the night goes.
On Pete again, is it special for you to be able to share this run for him, given your history with him?
Yeah, absolutely. We've been through some runs before. We're all trying to get to the same area, at the end of the day, and we're all, trying to do it together. So, yeah, it's fun to have him here. I've always enjoyed playing for him, and, we're back in this situation, and halfway there towards it, and go from there.
The first team to beat the last 2 Cup champs in the first 2 rounds of the playoffs. How much motivation or momentum can that generate beating such top talent right out of the gate?
You're going to see it's just tested. The group's tested, but you're going to see a team that's just as good and playing just as good in the next round. So, it's nice. It's nice the fact that we won. You guys dig up the stats and we go from there. But you got to keep, stacking the wins and getting through to make it mean anything.
One more on Wyatt and Logan. We've well established that they're mature for their age, especially, When do they show their age though? When is it like you're a kid, you're 21, like the music they listen to, I don't know, you know what I mean? Like, when do you realize they're still kids?
Yeah, every once in a while, if there's a floor hockey game going on upstairs, or I'm guilty of it as well. Being up there, they're fun to get into once in a while. The 3 of them are gaming. those types of things. There's, we only had 2 monitors there, and when Logan came in, you needed that third. So next thing you know, they're going to Target or wherever they're going to pick up a third so they can all play.
Thinking of the Hanson brothers, like they brought their.
Just did you learn a lot, and are you relaxed, more relaxed now?
More relaxed. I think I'm more confident in my abilities to defend. Like the last year was huge. I mean, went down, really dialed in on it, and it's kind of reaping the rewards now, I guess. But yeah, I mean, I go out there and I think I can shut down, or at least play with the best players in the world. It's not really. It's like, I don't know. It's just another shift at this point.
I know, and you're playing the 2 previous defending Stanley Cup champions and very high talent. But again, I don't want to say it's not a big deal, but you're playing very comfortable.
Yeah, still hockey. The team puts their pants on one leg at a time, same as us. So it's just going out there and sticking to the things that you do well. It's gapping up. Keeping them outside, moving your feet, all the kind of simple things that defending's all about.
Who taught you down there? Who helped you the most? Is it coaches, veteran players at all?
Just team effort. Petro was big down there. The coaches, Grammer, Max Fortunis. They were all kind of big. They all pushed me to be better, and something just kind of clicked.
What do you look at as far as the next round? I know getting a little bit of time off as a team has got to be helpful.
Yeah, it's huge. We all have bumps and bruises, so any time for that to heal is definitely nice. And it's Game 7 tonight, so I guess we'll see who we play tonight.
And then what about overtime and playoffs and stuff? Is that, I don't know, not a new experience, but just a different level of intensity?
I don't know. I think it's pretty similar to the game, honestly. Everyone's pretty tired, but it's really about playing smart, picking your spots. You're not giving them any free offense. If you're getting it across the red line, it's going behind their goal line. I don't know, it's just who blinks first.
Do you analyze at all what your team is doing? Because from up top, the forwards are obviously helping you guys. It just seems like the entire team is bought in on details and supporting each other and making the right play at the right time, sticks in the lane, all that.
Yeah, I mean, that's what it takes to win at this time of year. If you look at the 5 teams that are still playing, every single one of those teams does it, and most of the teams that are out did it. They bought into their team game. Like there's very little room. There's no free offense. Any chances to jump in the rush are pretty rare. So it's tough. You really got to work for your offense.